Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video, we will discuss the indirectly acting sympathomimetics. They can be amphetamine-like and they can be catecholamine reuptake inhibitors. So let's talk about amphetamine-like first. I will tell you about their mechanism of action. Now, if you've watched my previous playlist, you have seen this diagram like trillions of times. So this is the diagram that we have been using. Now, this is presynaptic membrane, this is postsynaptic membrane. In the presynaptic membrane, you have this norepinephrine transporter. This norepinephrine transporter can transport these indirectly acting amphetamine-like drugs. The amphetamine-like drugs, what are they going to do? They are going to enter the presynaptic membrane due to this norepinephrine transporter. What will happen is now this norepinephrine transporter will transport these substances inside the presynaptic membrane. After their transportation inside the membrane, they will go inside the vesicle, that vesicle which was storing the norepinephrine. As a result of which, what will happen? They will displace the norepinephrine from the vesicle and they will themselves be transported into the vesicle. When they will displace the norepinephrine, that norepinephrine will move out via norepinephrine transporter into the synaptic space. So this is a calcium independent process as well as it is exocytosis independent process for the release of norepinephrine, and it is mediated by the substances like amphetamine, tyramine, etc. So they are indirectly acting sympathomimetics. So they are amphetamine-like, they are displacers, their mechanism of action I have explained. For example, we'll talk about amphetamine first. The amphetamine, it enters the central nervous system readily. Okay, how it enters? By norepinephrine transporter. Now it has racemic mixture. It is normally present in the racemic mixture, that is D-isomer and L-isomer. D-isomer is more potent form, and because it is going to central nervous system, so it will produce central nervous system effects, that is it will elevate the mood. It will increase the alertness because it will cause more norepinephrine to stay in the synaptic space. It will have depressant effect on appetite. So increase good mood, increase alertness, and decrease food requirement. Now this amphetamine can be converted into this methamphetamine, which is a drug of abuse, crystal meth. It has increased central nervous system stimulant effects. Now it can also be converted to methylphenidate. This methylphenidate also has abuse potential, but not as bad as methamphetamine, but amphetamine and methylphenidate, they have similar abuse potentials. And this methylphenidate can be used in treatment of attention deficit hypersensitivity disorder in the children, ADHD in children. So amphetamine, good mood, alertness, and decreased appetite. The methamphetamine, it is drug of abuse and crystal meth, etc. The methylphenidate, it is used in the treatment of ADHD in children. So this was amphetamine-like. The other one is modafinil and armodafinil. These two are psychostimulants. They differ from this amphetamine, but they are going to inhibit norepinephrine transporter as well as dopamine transporter. So whenever they are going to inhibit these transporter are on the presynaptic membrane. Whenever they inhibit this transporter, they increase the norepinephrine and dopamine levels in the synaptic space. Okay, one was this displacement effect, other is this blocking effect. So this blocking effect, it is also going to increase norepinephrine and dopamine in the synaptic cleft. So norepinephrine, dopamine, apart from them, serotonin and glutamate, all of them increase in the synaptic cleft, but they decrease GABA, that is gamma-aminobutyric acid. So norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin and glutamate are increased, but GABA is decreased. Also this modafinil, because it is going to increase all these psychostimulants, so it will improve wakefulness in narcolepsy patients. It has mild effect. Sometimes it increases the heart rate, also it increases the blood pressure, but it has to increase wakefulness. So wakefulness requires these two things to be increased. So this is modafinil. This is amphetamine. Amphetamine is for good mood, for alertness, for depressing appetite, obviously. So amphetamine has been done, modafinil and armodafinil have been done. The armodafinil is very important because it is used in the treatment or to improve wakefulness in narcolepsy. And we'll talk about now tyramine. This is very important because it has an important question that comes in exam, that is tyramine and cheese reaction or wine and cheese reaction. Now tyramine, it is a byproduct of tyrosine metabolism, obviously, and this tyrosine is present in foods like aged cheese, like processed meat and pickled food. Now because this tyramine, what happens to this? This tyramine gets converted into tyrosine during fermentation. So what will happen? This tyrosine will be very much important now in your central nervous system. Whenever you are going to give tyrosine orally, it is going to be metabolized by monoamine oxidase. Hence it will have low bioavailability, and because of this high metabolism, which is increased first pass effect, what will happen to the tyramine? That it will be orally less available. But when you give tyramine, like these food products along with MAO inhibitors, that is, you have given a drug that is monoamine oxidase inhibitor, that inhibitor will now block the action of this enzyme. When the action is blocked, the bioavailability will be increased, obviously. The effects of tyramine and tyrosine will be increased, and this effect is increased blood pressure. So such people who are taking aged cheese, processed meat and pickled food with monoamine oxidase inhibitor, what will happen? They will get hypertensive and they will have hypertensive emergencies because of increased blood pressure, because now this tyrosine and tyramine cannot be converted into its metabolic form. Now it is stuck in its blood pressure elevating form, and that it's a hypertensive emergency. So that type of situation is one thing we need to know about this. So in amphetamine, the most important was methylphenidate, which is used in the treatment of ADHD. For modafinil, armodafinil, that was used in the treatment of or improving wakefulness in narcolepsy. For tyramine, it is important in wine and cheese reaction, because if you are giving substances containing this group with monoamine oxidase inhibitors, you will get increased blood pressure or hypertensive emergencies. Now we will go to indirectly acting sympathomimetics, that are class B, that are catecholamine reuptake inhibitors. They are actually going to block the transporters that are present on the presynaptic membrane. Now we have the class number 2, that is catecholamine reuptake inhibitors. It is going to block the either norepinephrine transporter, either the group that is dopamine transporter inhibitor, and the other group is that is serotonin and norepinephrine transporter inhibitor. So let's talk about first, that is norepinephrine transporter inhibitor. Now this norepinephrine transporter inhibitor is atomoxetine. The atomoxetine and reboxetine, they are used in ADHD, attention deficit disorder, and reboxetine is used for major depression disorder. So atomoxetine for attention deficit disorder, reboxetine for major depression disorder. Now this atomoxetine, because it is used in attention deficit disorder, it is going to cause increased blood pressure, increased heart rate, that causes orthostatic tachycardia, increased heart rate. And this atomoxetine has clonidine-like effects in central nervous system. What is clonidine effect? Clonidine is the alpha-2 type of agonist, and alpha-2 is G inhibitory, and G inhibitory is decreased sympathetic outflow or sympatholytic. So in cases like autonomic failure, what will happen? Blood pressure will be increased. Why this blood pressure will be increased? Because now the central nervous system centers, they have been blocked, and sympatholytic effect that was produced due to atomoxetine, which was having clonidine-like effect, now that sympatholytic effect is blocked. Due to this blockage of sympatholytic effect, this orthostatic tachycardia, this increased blood pressure will now be observed in such patients. So that is the norepinephrine transporter inhibitor action that we can see in atomoxetine and reboxetine. Now we will talk about dopamine inhibitor. So you have this dopamine transporter in the presynaptic membrane. This dopamine transporter is present in player centers of the brain, and when you block this dopamine transporter by the drugs like cocaine, which is a local anesthetic, and it enters the central nervous system rapidly, and it has amphetamine like psychological effects. What are amphetamine like psychological effects? Good mood, increased alertness, decreased appetite. So they are saying about the cocaine that it is going to block the dopamine transporter in the player centers of the brain, but it is rapidly acting, shorter acting, and more potent. So it can be used as a drug of abuse, like it can be sniffed, snorted, injected, and it will produce rapid effects. And that rapid effects will be mood elevation, increased alertness, and decreased appetite. That is the effects of cocaine because it has similar effects of amphetamine. So it has drug of abuse effects. Now this third class, which is serotonin inhibitor and norepinephrine inhibitor at combined thing, that is having two classes, that is sibutramine and milnacipran. So sibutramine, it is having increased cardiovascular effects and can lead to stroke. So as for sibutramine, as for stroke. For milnacipran, it can be used in the treatment of pain in fibromyalgia. So serotonin and norepinephrine transporter inhibitors, there are two in number. There are one that causes stroke, that is sibutramine. Other one is milnacipran. Milnacipran is used in the treatment of pain by fibromyalgia. Why can it be used in the treatment of pain? Because whenever you are going to block this serotonin and norepinephrine to re-enter, so what will happen? They will be increased in the synaptic cleft. So they will lead to good mood. That good mood will lead to decreased sensation of feeling the pain. So that is how it works for milnacipran. So up till now they are also saying that because they are antidepressant, they have this appetite suppressive activity. But there are other three drugs that are venlafaxine, desvenlafaxine, and duloxetine. They have no cardiovascular risk. But the one which is having cardiovascular risk like stroke, that is sibutramine. So that is all you need to remember. Now for catecholamine reuptake inhibitor, remember three classes. One is norepinephrine transporter inhibitor, one is dopamine transporter inhibitor, one is norepinephrine plus serotonin transporter inhibitor. For norepinephrine transporter inhibitor, you have atomoxetine. For dopamine transporter inhibitor, you have cocaine. For the third group, that is serotonin and the norepinephrine transporter inhibitor, you have sibutramine and you have milnacipran. So that is how you have to remember the whole chart. And the one which was having amphetamine-like action, the ones that were having the action of displacers, they were amphetamine. Most important from amphetamine group was methylphenidate, treatment of ADHD. Then you have modafinil and armodafinil, treatment of wakefulness in narcolepsy. And tyramine, important thing, wine and cheese reactions. So that is how you will remember the indirectly acting sympathomimetics. One are displacers, one are blockers. I hope you understood each and everything that was explained in this video. If you do, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and keep on watching, keep on learning pharmacology in such an easy way. In everything from your big books has been covered in small chunks and small things, so you can remember them very easily. So like, share and subscribe to Ordinary Days.